Hello everybody, it's Craig Marr. Today we're going to be talking about winning with the Accelerated Dragon opening. Now the year is 2007, 16 years ago. I'm playing the 15-year-old Sam Shankland. And I've kind of come out of retirement to play a lot of the young generation of upcoming American masters. Sam Shankland, at that time, I could tell he was a talented kid, rated about 2250. Now he's 2,700 FIDE rating. That's like maybe 30th in the world. I had black and I chose the Accelerated Dragon variation as black. Now, what's the difference between the regular dragon and the accelerated dragon? Well, there's more, there's more tricks with the move order that I chose with the accelerated. Now, you're also avoiding the dreaded Yugoslav attack, which was played by Bobby Fischer 60 years ago. Now, Fischer almost refuted the dragon variation with it. But anyway, this is me back in the younger days when I was Sam's age. But let's take a look at Sam. He still is a great player. Don't forget he won the 2018 US Closed, a very difficult thing to do. The question is, can he repeat it? With all the strong players and upcoming stars, in chess today, it's going to be very hard for Sam to repeat that feat. Problem is that, holding on to your world ranking is very, very difficult because you got people like Hans Niemann, Gukesh and Prag of India. You got Abdu Sadarov of one of those countries, the young, and then you got, let's not forget Ali Firouzja coming up. He'll be a contender. So the next 100 points remains a challenge for young Sam Shankland. If he could do it, it'd vault him into maybe the top 3 or 4 in the world. And I know that at his level, 2,700, it's just very, very rough going to climb that 2,700 mountain. It seems like a mountain. It seems like every 10 points is a struggle at 2,700. It's not like going from, like 1,300 to 1,400. Absolutely not. It's very, very tough at the top. But anyway, let's look at today's game with the help of the computer. I had the black pieces, and Sam had white, and he opened with e4. I'm a Sicilian player, and this constitutes the first move order of the Accelerated Dragon. Now, if I'm going to play the regular dragon move order, I'm going to play on this move instead d6. Now, the modern move against this particular line is bishop to b5, kind of a Rosalimo, Roy Lopez type move. But back then, this was the main line. And now here you see, this is the Accelerated Dragon. Now the whole point of this is we're going to avoid the Yugoslav attack. The Yugoslav attack is where white plays knight c3, bishop e3, f3, queen d2, and then castles queenside, and then you just have this ready-made h4, h5 attack, and black is usually going to get smushed in most of those lines. But let's see what white played here. This is called the Maroczy bind. And, it used to be dreaded back in the time of Maroczy, but since then it's just kind of harmless. So now this is my correct move order. Now bishop g5 might be better, but this is okay too, Now you got to get, queen out of the, of the power of this strong diagonal here. So now what am I going to do? Okay, that's good. Now see, what I'm doing is I'm putting, pressure onto this pawn here. And my idea is I'm going to play a6 and b5 and get, much needed counterplay. So this is all the correct, book move so far. And now white is kind of for choice here. Normal is something like f3 looks good, rook d1, but you want to launch knight d5. See, all the power for white is going to be on this d5 square, and probably well off guarding the e pawn. So anyway, now he plays knight d5. Okay, now as you can see up here, look up here, this is equal, 0-0 by the computer. Okay, now I have to take the queen. If I come back here with the queen d8, he's got knight b6, fork, and that's going to win the exchange. So I got to take. And now at this point, Sam offered me a draw. No, actually, this is where he makes a big mistake here. The correct move is bishop takes queen. Just take the queen. And then I'm going to be forced now to capture on d5. See, the thing that Sam played here, right after the draw offer, well, now at this point, after this lemon, he proposed a draw. But I knew, well, yeah, I didn't know for sure, but I thought maybe this was a mistake. So I thought for 20 minutes, and of course I refused the draw, because this is such a lemon. Knight f6 is a lemon. Now you can see by the computer that suddenly we're going from 0-0 to minus 0.2. So that means that black is a little bit better after this. Now black is up 0.3. So white has to capture. Now you're saying, hey, this is just a draw, isn't it? Well, I'll show you why this is not a draw, because now, boom, b5. So now, if white tries to capture the pawn, then this pawn on a2 is going to be hanging. So there's plenty of play here, and black is really in control of the game because his bishops are both raining down pressure onto the queen side. So white's already, according to the computer, white is already minus 0.4 here. So let's see what he did. Okay, he took, captured back. Now we got this pressure on a2. And now Sam started thinking. And white's already got some problems here. So now this is really the hard move for most people to understand. Why did I capture with the bishop? Well, the fact is, I want to put pressure on this a2 pawn, which is very hard to defend. You cannot defend there. So I really want to capture that. Now, white wants to play rook c1 and rook c2, and then everything's hunky-dory. But let's look at what Sam played instead. He played this, and he expected me to move the bishop. See, that's the thing. Now, this was a trap I had been planning for quite some time. When I played b5, I was already thinking about this capture. So Sam falls right into my trap. But let's see what he did here. Bishop h6 is very interesting because now black is the one that also has back rank problems. So now I realize that if I capture on e2, rook comes all the way down, checkmate. So I don't want to capture the bishop. What I do instead is I move the bishop. And now everything looks like even Steven. You got one, I got one, and if I capture this pawn, rook c8 is mate. So I cannot capture the pawn, so what am I going to do? Well, let's get the initiative. Okay, this is very strong because I want you to play bishop e3, bishop takes bishop, pawn takes bishop, bishop takes pawn because now there's no back rank problem. So I kind of want Sam to hunker down with rook f1, and then I can start applying the Marian pressure. If he goes rook f1, I'm simply going to capture on here with an extra pawn. But let's see what Sam did. Instead of defending, he goes rook c7. Now that's suicidal, actually, according to the computer. According to the computer, I can now win big time with rook takes pawn. Notice that if I try to win on the back rank, rook check, he's got bishop to f1. So why is rook f2 so strong? See, what I was afraid of was if I take rook takes pawn, I was afraid of him playing rook takes pawn. And now I didn't really see any good discovery. But in fact, after rook f2, rook takes pawn, rook d2 wins. King f1, rook check, and then bishop g4 mate. I really didn't see that during the game. So I played this, which is okay. And now it's going to, now I'm up, 1.3, 1.1. Now it's going to be hard, for me to win with a pawn ahead. But this is where some technique is required. Now the first problem I have is how do I get my king into action? And the computer suggests f6, but I thought that was kind of passive, so I played more actively. And now, I got to get these passed pawns moving here. And he's got to try to get this passed pawn going here. So Sam's greatest weakness at this point is his endgame. His endgame, is weak, and he just didn't seem to have a clue here. Now, see, I want to get my king activated. So king f7 looks like a good move, but this is even better. Now, we could trade, but I decided to just play like this. Now, this is where Sam kind of really made a serious error here. See, he's down 1.3, and that's serious, okay? But the game is not lost yet. But after this, it is lost. Now we're jumping to 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. So according to the computer, white is 3 pawns down, and it's over, 3.9. So I think that's a real blunder on his part. Now, I got to contend with a passed pawn. One thing about passed pawns, you've got to blockade them. Now, I'm going to trade. And now, I got to be very careful that, this pawn isn't going to promote. So, I just play back. And now I don't want the king coming in. So that's why d5. Now it's probably lost because he just can't get the pawn going. If he could get the bishop to b6 right now, he plays c7, and then he would actually be winning. But I'm preventing any of that stuff. So now he realizes that he cannot queen that pawn. So now he tries to sneak around to the side. Now, king c5 actually may be correct. You know, I think king c5 maybe gives some chances here. But if you can't get this pawn in, you got to worry about black's cluster of pawns, which are a real dangerous threat. That's kind of lemony, because now I got king d6. Now it's probably over, because according to the computer it really is over. He's down 8.7. So maybe at this point it really is over. Let's look at the little computer variation here. Bishop d2, d4, king c4, king c6, bishop g5, bishop b6, bishop f6, e4. And as you can see, guys, from this little side diagram, it's pretty much over. You know, if white goes into that, it's just completely lost. So let's see what Sam did. Now at this point, Sam decided to throw in the towel, because black's king is gonna, you know, maybe after bishop check, king d5. See, the king cannot move away because of king c6. And if bishop a5, I simply capture the bishop, king captures, and I capture your pawn. And this passed pawn is just not going anywhere. Meanwhile, black's cluster is always threatening to advance, and this is why Sam resigned. Anyway, thanks again, folks.